Sometimes you can have your cake and eat it too, or sometimes you can have your cake and some champagne to ease the struggle. Oh my god. It's time, y'all. We have not had a debrief in a very long time. And so there are a lot of new people here on this channel. A lot of people here since my TikTok really started blowing up. So welcome. I'm Cybèle. I'm 20 years old. I'm a Capricorn. I'm a student. I'm a storyteller. And I love to make shit. I love to be creative. I love to take ideas from the ether and manifest them into the physical form. I'm very spiritual. I believe in karma. I'm still learning. And I'm drinking apple cider, and it's really good.
You want to know what else is really good and looks just as delicious as that apple cider? Jewelry. Tarnish resistant jewelry, of course. I'm very selective about how much jewelry I wear because I know that if you can wear too much, it makes you look a little cheap or gaudy or unclassy. But these designs I found from Louisa strike the perfect balance. So you can dress them up or dress them down with any single look that you wear. Look at these earrings, and that simple gold chain really takes this nice plain black dress look to another level. Here are some of the pieces that I've kept in the past as well. Some pictures from my 20th birthday celebration that I also wear that go really well with my turtleneck, but they also go well with a low neck. They're affordable, high quality, and designs that offer free and fast US shipping with returns worldwide. But they're also tested against allergies, damage, breakage, and they're carbon neutral, meaning that if you're one of those environmental girlies, you don't have to further harm the environment by looking cute as well. They come with a 2-year warranty, and through my exclusive code, you can get 20% off your first order. You don't want to miss out on this shit, and I'm really scared it's going to sell out soon because it's starting to get a lot of traction. You can be one of the first ones to get it through my code and get the exclusive discount.
Essentially, I have no idea how ready I am to go back to Harvard. There's this period in between the end of the school year from the spring and going into the fall. Going back into school feels not real in some way. It's like two different alternate versions of reality between the life that I'm living in the summer and the life that I'm living in the school year. I will say this. God, the universe, they have no shortage of character growth opportunities. You know those videos where people are like, I'm tired of character growth, I just want to be happy. Sometimes you can have your cake and eat it too, or sometimes you can have your cake and some champagne to ease the struggle. This is crazy for me because I feel like the last 2 years of school, freshman and sophomore year, went by so fast. It's very scary that I'm already in my junior year, and when I'm done with this year, there's only going to be 1 year left. I don't know quite how to feel about it. There's parts of me that wish I had done college a little differently. I was very serious about my extracurriculars. I was really serious about school and getting it right. I kind of wish that I had gone out more to parties, been more spontaneous, made more stupid decisions, because I would like to say, you know, I learned and I grew. Unfortunately, I feel like I don't make that many those careless, I can make wrong decisions after I evaluate a lot, but very rarely do I make decisions that are completely careless. Hook up with this person or go out with that guy and be a sneaky link. Never been that kind of person. I've always been very evaluative. I think there is a detriment to being careless. Obviously, you get hurt more, but at the same time, you get more fun experiences that you can talk about later on. And I think that sometimes when I'm overthinking in my head, and I'm taught at school, these classes, you're taught to be cerebral about everything. You gotta overanalyze and overthink it. Always making sure every decision I made was bettering myself in the future has in some way made me feel limited. That working for a better me, prioritizing my goals, has in some way made me feel stifled in terms of the human that I am now. This year, my priority going into junior year is gonna be giving myself room for a little stupidity. I mean, I cannot be completely careless, but at the same time, it's okay to make mistakes, and sometimes it's okay to be a little messy. And I feel like I have grown up in an environment where everything has been expected to be, you always do your best at everything. And sometimes the best thing to do is to not think about the best thing to do. because worrying about the best thing to do will always make you feel controlled and limited. If I were to get out of my head more, I would feel a lot more liberated in a lot of my decisions, and so that not everything is about like the right amount of hours to put into study for something, to apply for some internship. And I've also realized over the summer and the school year just how independent of a person I am. I don't like other people telling me what to do. I don't like it. I've also learned that too often we attribute too much importance to titles. If you have this specific job title, if you work at this specific rank in a company, or if you are this specific major, you go to this specific school, you're this specific person, husband or wife, or you're the leader of this specific organization, if you have a certain title, that in some way makes you have a more or less valuable opinion than another person. And I've always thought that that has been an incredibly destructive and very narrow, limited way of going about getting to know people in the world. And so many brilliant people don't have necessarily the titles to back it up, but they have the thoughts and the critical thinking. I don't like how a lot of times my environment has taught me to think that, okay, if you have the title, then that means that then you're the best. It shouldn't be the end all be all. The best thing that I've learned about myself is that I love to make decisions quickly and I stick to them. And I think that is the best gift that I could give to myself. I think the best gift you could give to yourself at any stage of your life is decisiveness. Because people who are indecisive are lost. People who are indecisive, who make decisions and they switch them every single hour, you're literally not going to get that far. I understand, if you're a creative person and you have a lot of different niches and things you like to do, that's different than, never committing to anything at all and kind of just being taken by the wind. Another thing that I've realized, which is important, is to really understand where you're operating from. And I've noticed that a lot of the best outcomes in my life come from when I make decisions based upon love, based upon service, based upon giving. And whether that be school, whether that be career, or whatever I'm doing right now, I know that when you focus on the wrong things, you get the wrong things. If you focus on merely just getting a viral video or getting views or getting an A, then you're not necessarily going to reap the outcome that you want, because it's only about the outcome that you want. It's not about what you're doing. It's not about the message. It's not about the intentions. It's not about the purpose. I've tried over this year to ground myself every single day and think, okay, what am I doing this for? Every single day, the most important thing I have to tell myself is why am I doing what I do? I need to feel and I've realized I'm such a purpose-oriented person. I need to feel connected to why I'm doing something. And if I'm not connected to why I'm doing something, if it's purely for superficial purposes that we can often get caught up in, or because somebody else thinks it's going to bring then I stop doing it, because that's not worth my time. It's not worth my energy. Yes, certain things you feel like you need to do to bring stability in your life. At the end of the day, my golden rule is if it's not bringing you peace, if it's not bringing you happiness, if it's not bringing you more abundance and more good of what you want, forget it. I know some people may think to themselves, so that's a very extravagant way of viewing life, dramatic and grandiose to think that you're that important, think that you have the luxury to think that way. And to people who are so concerned with economical modes of thinking, and people who are so concerned with saving and always budgeting, not just money, but time and energy, cutting corners and making everything as efficient as possible, let's not indulge in certain things. I say to you, human existence is not economical in and of itself. There are trillions of cells in your body working to keep you alive. Even being alive as a human is extravagant. And seeing trees and seeing rivers and streams and mountains, and it's miraculous. The fact that we're here. When a vine grows in a garden, it's not gonna take the least amount of space as possible. When weeds grow and flowers grow, when there are bugs and when there are animals, everything is repopulating to the most abundant extremity. It's crazy to think about. And I say I'm scared to return to school because in a way I can think about it now, and I have the luxury of time to think about the marvel that is creation and the world and my place in the world and any human's place in the world. And I have the time to really fully comprehend how extraordinary that is. What a beautiful opportunity we all have to enjoy this world. It's school, when you're in the grind and the thick of activities and grades, you're not always given that chance to fully indulge in that. And when you're always in the grind, you can come to resent all of this. And even if it's things you love doing, some people say, don't work your passion. Don't get a career in your passion, because then you're going to start to see it as a job and you're going to start to resent it. To some extent, you know, for some people that may be true, but I think what going back to school is going to force me to do is reconcile with, to have to learn to naturally think in this way and to marvel at the spectacularness that is life in order for you to keep going. Gratitude is the most grounding thing that I'm going to take as a tool with me to go into my school year. And then I think the other thing is the humility of knowing that none of this would all be possible without the creator. Some people call it the universe, some people call it spirit, some people call it God. None of it would be possible without the divine. And I thank the divine every day for giving me ideas and inspiration and providing me with the resources and the tools and the family and the support system and the network. And I thank the divine for the creativity that it's given me. Man, it's so important to have a spiritual practice. And I think moving forward, and I know this might be controversial or whatever, but I don't think I can further invest in friendships or relationships with people who don't have some form of spiritual practice and who don't understand the existential rarity that is all of this. And I know I don't say that to discriminate against people who don't believe in anything higher, but I say this to say that there's a certain reverence that spiritual people have for the universe and for the space that they take up in it. And there's a certain perspective and grounding, regard for karma, speaking well on themselves and others that spiritual people have with the flow of life. People who are disconnected from the flow, when I'm around them, disconnect me too. And I just don't want to be in that arena anymore. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned being at Harvard, despite it being super logical and super cerebral, all about the way that you do things, the specific knowledge that you learn, and all of the facts and statistics and whatever, the number one thing that I've learned is that faith, belief in the unseen will sustain you further than any knowledge could. Belief in the divine, belief in yourself, belief that the divine is working through you is just as important, if not more, than knowing how to do all the other logistical things. Because faith sustains you. Faith gives you the strength to keep working even when you don't see results. Faith gives you the strength to make the right decision even when it doesn't have the best immediate outcome. Faith gives you maturity to make the morally right decision and the one that makes you spiritually feel better rather than having a reward in the material realm. It has kept me going through the darkest of times, and it has kept me pushing even when I felt like there was no strength left anymore. And I think it is the singular most important thing to any life endeavor, having faith. If you have faith, there's no obstacle too big to overcome. You can do it all if you have faith. I'm accomplishing things now and on the cusp of things now in my life that I always knew I would be able to do, that I always knew would manifest for me, that people who have no spiritual faith never thought was possible. They never thought that I would be able to do something like that. Or they would say that, you know, what makes you think you're so special? To be honest, you don't even need to be special to do something spectacular. You just have to believe that you're special, and that belief will sustain you enough to do something spectacular. I've always had the motto that I don't know how exactly something's gonna play out, but I know that it will. I know in the end I will be victorious, and I will be able to help people the way that I can through whatever platform I develop. And I believe every single person has a purpose that transcends the physical, and we're all infinitely more powerful than we think about it. I'm fearful that going back and into the grind of school will make me lose touch with that deep spiritual understanding. So I just know that I'm going to have to work twice as hard to help maintain it. Sorry, that got really deep. If I'm saying it, then I'm speaking from a flow state. All of this is completely unscripted. If I'm saying it, then I know that it resonates with a deeper side of me. But faith and belief, I know, will ultimately lead to good outcomes in the end. You have to be so delusional. And I've learned that delusion and faith, or the two, or one of them, that's the most important thing. That delusional sense of like, I'm gonna do it, come hell or high water, that's what counts. Not being able to do the most complex equation or being able to explain it on the most sophisticated level